Good morning, guys. Welcome to my Flosstube. My name is Emily, and I'm here to talk about my cross stitch. It is the last day of May, May the 31st. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've got a little window at the moment where nobody much is awake. It is half term here in the UK, and everybody is home apart from Maddie, who has got her exams. So, yes, I've got a little window for a little video, because I have only worked on 4 things this week, only 3 of them being cross stitch. So yeah, it's been an okay-ish week. Funny hours at work, starting late, finishing late, long full days. It's been an alright kind of week, really. I look a little bit tired, but hey ho. I've been up since 5:30 this morning. I just woke up, I didn't sleep well last night, so I thought, get up, do some stitching. So that's exactly what I did, to the point that I have already done. Let me just give me 20 seconds. I've already done about 500 stitches today, so that's a win, isn't it? I don't go into work until 12, but I'll be there until finish, which might be 10, 11 tonight, so I'll get a good shift in today. And yeah, it's all fine. Okay. So I've only worked on 3 cross stitches this week. I'll show you the first one on top, which is the little tiny long dog, which is called, let's go back to it, Entrechanne Loop, which you can find under other things on the Long Dog website. And I'm not sure where I was last time. If I've got a picture, I'll put it here. I probably haven't got a picture, but I am now at 55.76%, so I'm over halfway, and this is where I am. So, you can see the sparkle, the black, it sparkles, because this is a terrible skein, DMC a 12, 310, and it's kind of got like a midnight blue sparkle through it, and I hope I have enough, because I have another skein of it somewhere, but I don't know where. I have filled in the long dog with the dinky dye, which I'm not sure which one that is, either black sand beach or charcoal. I'm not sure, it's one or the other. Anyway, so I did all of this, and I've completed the outline now of the wolf, and as I say, I filled in the dog, and I've done the grey here, and so all I need to do is come up for the rest of the moon, and then there's a bat in here, and there's a few bits and a little border along the bottom, so he's only going to be about that big. So it's tickly tiny, and that's over half, so I'm on 55%, and that's where I am. And this bar, I think 3 stitches coming down from his eye, this is all fill in, so that's going to be a nice easy job. I filled in this bit here last night when I was supposed to be snoozing, and I don't know, I just couldn't sleep, so I did have a nap earlier in the evening, which probably put the kibosh on me getting to sleep. So that's that one. So I do little bits of that every now and again, and the other 2 are more dramatic. Well, one of them is. The other thing I've worked on is my pointed 5th. I'm going to take it out of the Q-snap to show you it, and I'm going to put this one away now and move on to one of my other long dogs, just to shake it up a bit and give somebody else a bit of a chance, because I get a bit obsessy when I start on something. So my pointed 5th, just going to find it on my pattern keeper. There it is. I'm now at 33.5%, so this is 1/3 finished. It's 1/3 finished. So, there we go. That's it in its entirety at the moment. Remember, this is only 1/3 finished, and it will fill the fabric, so I've still got quite a long way to go down, but I have been working on this bit. Let me just fold him up. Okay, so I've been working here, and I put in some geese, and I think I joined this pillar up. I fixed I think it was that one that was the mistake was on. I'm not sure, it's either that one or the one background. Anyway, I've come here, down, up. I again put some stitches in here in the wrong colour because that's obviously going to be the toile here. And so this box is coming on. The geese I've done about half of, and this bit here, and then I've just done, that's one of the blends there. I obviously just used it up till it was gone, and that's where I am. So I'm quite happy with my progress on that. It's really nice to have put a chunk of stitches into it there. And move on. I don't know what I'm going to pick up instead. It will be a long dog, and I don't know whether I'm going to do some opening gambit or whether I'm going to do some pilgrim maybe. Maybe I'll pick up pilgrim because I'm onto a new page of pilgrim, so it's an entirely new place to start, which is kind of nice to start from a completely new page. And maybe I'll do some pilgrim. We will see. We will see. Here comes Bella. Hey Belle. To bump. Hi baby girl. It's very grey, miserable, chilly sort of morning here in the UK. Not very summery. Right. I'll put my Q-snap to one side. Ready for a different long dog. So I've shown you that one. Now, the only other thing I've worked on, and I really have done quite a lot for me, I think, is my treasure hunt bookshelf. Supersize max colour, and I am currently at 1.16%. So I want to do 1% a month, which is 7,222 stitches is 1%. So in the first month I've actually done 8,413. So I did it. I've done 400 of them this morning, but so I'm up 1,000 stitches already for the month, which is really good because we're not even into June yet. And I've almost completed the box I wanted to complete. So here we are. Oh, it's so good. Look, you can read, that definitely says wild on the spine of that book. Not too sure what the rest of the word is, but that definitely says wild. Anyway, here is my progress. I'm very, very happy with it. Now, my box for the month finished there. And as you can see, there's very, very few gaps. I've got a colour here, which I can't find in my stash. And most of these are one colour, which I know I have, but I can't find it because it's 3839 and it's in, I've used it so much in my Snow Wizard, but the skein is currently evading me. And there's a couple of little tiny gaps here, which are just odd stitches in odd colours that I have not yet located in my boxes. So I'm not going to break my heart over it. I'm just going to carry on and see how I do. And then when I'm making a list of the colours that I can't find, so if I find them, I can put the stitches in and cross them off as found. And if I get a big enough list, I'm actually going to just make an order and get the few that I need as I need them, if you see what I mean. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to move my Q-snap for the first time, because when I started this a month ago, it seems ridiculous for just 1 month's work. And there's my back, guys. I tie knots, I go wherever. You can see here the stitches are stretched there. They're not stretched. It's nice and loose. And from this side, you would never know. So for 1% and a month, it's so little. So what I'm going to do, I have parked, and I've parked them in Pattern Keeper because I got to the bottom of my Q-snap and the colours were still very prevalent there. So rather than finish them off to find them again, I've simply parked. I think I've got 4 there. So I'm going to stitch them in first, and I'll basically do all the stitches in this immediate area of each of these colours, and then I can finish them off and get them out of the way. So I'm just going to take them up there a second, and I'm going to move my Q-snap. So I'm going to move to the next box, which I have done quite a bit of stitching in already. just to give myself not a head start, but you know, for the month. So I'm going down and left for the second box for my second month. So I want to get all of this. I'm just going to position it so that I can see where I'm going to be stitching this month. This month being going into June. Just going to move my edge up there, just so that I've got Ada over my stitching, which I don't mind clamping stitching at all. Straight onto the stitching. What it actually does is hold the Q-snap really, really tight. There. So my balloon has gone, and now I am down here, and you can very clearly see this month's block. So I want to come down, across here, and it goes up to there. So I've already come this many stitches into this box and over into this side here. So I'm gonna get this lighthouse finished. Sounds like my boy is awake. That might be the lad next door that way, actually, I'm not sure. Anyway, sometimes we can hear them. So that's my goal for the month there. We'll see if I can get that finished, that box done, and when I get that box done, I will be 2%. So an awfully long way to go. 100 months, 99 months to go. And I'm still dealing with a very large amount of crumply Ada, but I will deal with that as we go. So there's my 3 bits of stitching. Now, partway through last week, I suddenly thought I need to knit. Now, if you'd asked me 2 years ago what my hobby was, I would tell you I was a knitter. I've always been a knitter. For a long time, I knitted what I call teeny tinies, like my little pig on the end of my scissor fob. This is my scissor fob. Made this probably a year and a half ago now. My little pig, and this is the sort of thing. He's knitted in the round. He's a bit worn out now. His little curly tails all. But this is the sort of thing that I used to knit. But every now and again, I would start myself off a garment. So I think it might even be 3 years ago. I bought 2 actually. I think it's pronounced. Dutch people will cringe. I always call it sheppies, but I think it's sheepjes, something like that. And it's a whirl. Sheppy's whirl is what I call it. I will actually put the correct spelling of it here. Now I just buy these from Wool Warehouse. They're about £20 and you get enough. Bear in mind this is half finished or half used. And what it is, this is a beautiful mix. It's half acrylic and half cotton, which for me is lovely because it's soft and tactile. And this is 4-ply, which is little under sport weight. Anyway, if I'm knitting toys, I'd use a 2¼ needle with this, but because I'm knitting a garment, I'm using a 3mm needle because I wanted it floppy, as it were. So I started a pattern which is by, I'll have to go to my files to get it right, a designer that I really rate. I love her patterns. I've knitted several of them. She is called Isabel Kramer. I'll put that along here. And the jumper is called Arwen. Now, I use Ravelry. I buy her patterns. I download them into Ravelry. I print them out or I keep them on my phone as a PDF. I'm going to show you a little picture, if I can, of the jumper. There. And what I decided to do, because I've only got the one whirl, was do the short sleeve version, which, oh, rubbish, right, 2 seconds. I've put a picture because that was just rubbish. And put a picture here of the short sleeve version. So when I picked it up, and I started this, as I say, I think about 3 years ago, and the bobble rows, of which there's 3, polished me off, nearly killed me, couldn't do them, did them, didn't like them, put it away. So I suddenly decided I wanted to do some knitting. I wanted to do something summery, something light, something I could potentially get finished. This is an active knitting width of which I have, I'm going to say less than cross stitch projects, but this is, yeah, I have a lot. I have a lot of everything. It's a bit of a problem, but there we go. So rather than get something new and start something new, I picked up something old. It was stored in a plastic box with a load of other things, with a load of other bits of yarn and stuff. So it was nice, it was clean, it was ready to go. And I picked it up and I was here. So I was about 3 rows below the second row of bobbles. And since then, I have done this much. So I finished the pattern. That was the last row of bobbles, lots of bobbles, pain in the butt, and just time consuming, you know. And now I am down to, I think that's going to be about just bust level there. And I have done my sleeves. Now, I finished my sleeves off. Normally when you knit top-down sweaters, where you start from the neck and just go down, you put the sleeve stitches on holders and then you go back to them and finish them later. But because I'm using a gradient yarn, which I don't get 2 shots at, if I'd have left them till last, it would have been a very pale yellow. So I'd have had this lovely turquoise into mauve and then yellow. And I didn't want stark line. So while I was there, I did my sleeves. Now, I've only done, my sleeve is only that long. So I did 4 rows of knitting and 4 rows of ribbing. So my sleeves are only 1 inch at the armpit. So they are little caps. They are a little cap sleeve. It does fit, it's lovely. I've put it on, obviously, and checked that it fits. Can't put it on right now because the rest is still sitting on the circular needle, and I will pop stitches getting that over my head. Not getting it over my head, but getting it over here will pop stitches. So I'm not going to do that. I have put it on. I put it while I was doing the sleeves. I put the entire body stitches on a piece of waste yarn so I could stretch it and get it on. It's fine. It fits me really nicely. So, having picked up knitting, got little tiny cap sleeves, but I didn't want the colour to change dramatically, and I was very conscious that if I used up all the purple yarn doing short sleeves, I would then have a very distinct line when I rejoined the whirl, when I rejoined my yarn here to knit the body. Now, because I've done such tiny little sleeves, there's actually no line. You can't see you can't see where the colours had a big chunk missing out of it. So I'm really pleased with that, and it's coming along. I do like it. I love these colours. Obviously, I bought the yarn for myself, so it makes sense to have them in colours that I like. And that's where I am. And now that I've got it to the point where I'm just going round and round in circles doing the body, I can just watch telly, because I can, unlike cross stitch and unlike crochet with plain knitting, I can literally do it and not look, because it's been so many years. I can do this by feel. So I can load up my needle and I'm knitting on a full circular, not a long one, nice short one, so the entire jumper fits quite comfortably. I've got a little bit of extra. It's not tight at all. I had to magic loop the sleeves, which was annoying because I couldn't be bothered finding double pointed to do the sleeves with, so I did them with the long one, which was a bit of a pain in the bottom because you have to magic loop. But that's the other decision for making such short sleeves was the fact that I didn't need to. I don't like doing magic loop very much, which is where you constantly adjust and you have a big loop of the plastic flexible cable sticking out, and then you have to constantly move it around, and it's not my thing. I'd much rather knit on 4 double pointed needles for a small circular. Yeah, so I'm knitting, and what I intend to do for this, unless it's going to be stupid long, I want it just below. I want the knitting to go to kind of where my jeans end, and then I'll do the rib, and I'm going to do quite a nice deep rib, so that if I lean over in it, I don't get any kind of skin gap. Because I don't think I'm going to need a base layer on under this, because it's so soft you could easily wear this against your skin. It's lovely. It's not in this, because it's obviously it's cotton and acrylic, so there's nothing offensive in it. Also, being cotton and acrylic, I can wash this in the washing machine and I can tumble dry it, which is a absolute must in my household, because sometimes it's not me that does the laundry and things might sometimes go skewy. So if it washes and tumble dries, that's a good answer to not getting ruined. So there's that. Plus it's just delicious, and I love the colour. So I intend to use this up, unless, as I say, it gets very long. I don't want it like bum length or anything. I just want it just a nice maybe this much below my waist, just a nice normal sweater length. So unless I'm going to be really long, I'm just going to try and see if I can just use this up, and I'll make the call with the ribbing. If it looks like I'm going to be running out, I'll make a call with ribbing. I'm always happy to have something slightly shorter, and I will just simply wear a vest or a base layer underneath it. I really just want to make the whole jumper from this one whirl, which it should do. But yeah, so I'm a centre feed. Normally I find the middle, I pull it out, and I'll pull from the centre. But because this is my colour, this turquoise, I wanted the turquoise at the top and not at the bottom. I didn't want the yellow. Yellow tends to make me look a bit pallid and sick, so further down is better. So the bit that was going to be up near my head, I wanted the turquoise, so I fed from the outside. And as I say, this is an old whip. It's maybe 3 years old, and I think it's definitely 3 years old actually, because I've been cross stitching. Yeah, I'll have put this away before we went into lockdown, which is 2019 now, isn't it? So yeah, that's 3 years ago. So yeah, I can just knit nicely now and just get on with it and watch telly. And I did some knitting last night, and it was just a nice little power down after I'd finished my stitch. After I thought I'd done enough stitching, I stopped and I just did some knitting instead. So there we go. Right, now I'm knitting. I need to be stitching. Now I've moved my Q-snap, I want to get back to my treasure hunt, but I'm going to pull out a different long dog and get that on. And I really want to pull out my original Dreaming Girl and have a look at her and see if I can't pull my finger out and get her finished, because I've got 2 other Dreaming Girls that I'd rather want to start, but I'm going to one in, one out with my Dreaming Girls. I've got 2 on the go and 2 I want to do. So if I can get one done, that means I can start one. But one in, one out, yeah. Okay guys, this is going to be a really, really short video for me today. Thank you for all my new subscribers, by the way. I've had a really, really big jump in subscribers. I mean, literally like over 100 new subscribers. So thank you very much. Very welcome here. I generally just talk about drivel and show you cross stitch. It's usually quite a lot more cross stitch, different projects. I do tend to jump, chop change. But this week I've really settled in and worked on really just the pointed fifth of my treasure hunt bookshelf. And then I've just put a few quick stitches into the little mini long dog there, but I'm going to try and get that one done too. So, and then that'll be one out, won't it? I'll try and bring that whip number down a little bit, but a lot of my projects are so absolutely enormous. It's going to take an awful lot of stitching to finish them. So, yeah. Anyway, so. I am going to leave you from Knitting Corner, but and I don't. Here, look, knitters, here, look at my terrible technique. I let go of my needle every single stitch. It used to make my grandma wince. This is terrible knitting technique, but you might have noticed that it works for me and I'm really very fast at it. You won't be surprised if I'm not wearing this jumper in a couple of weeks. If I carry on, if I still fancy doing it, but as you can see, it's not a difficult operation, but my technique is technically terrible apparently. But I do good knitting. Anyway, righto guys, hopefully that didn't make all you knitters out there absolutely wince. I'm not changing my technique, this is how I do it. This is, I'm nearly 46 and I've been knitting for 40 years and this is how I knit. And it works for me, and that's the whole thing about all of our own hobbies and crafts and projects. It has to suit us and our way, and there is no wrong way. There's no rules. There's no rules. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and I will see you again, hopefully about this time next week. We'll see how my week goes. More hours towards the back end of this week. We've got a wedding on Saturday, quite a big wedding on Saturday, so there's quite a lot of prep for that. And yeah, be a long day on Saturday, and then a normal day on Sunday, and then we're into the following week. And on the Monday, my little boy Austin, who is going to be 10 next week, is having some fairly dramatic dental surgery. Turns out his milk teeth are not coming out. He has only lost 3 teeth naturally, and he is almost 10. So his milk teeth are shot to pieces, essentially. They're not good. They're not a good state. I did not give him a good set of milk teeth. He had to have the top 4 and the first premolar removed when he was 2.5. Yeah, they were gone, and I was criticised for letting him sleep with a bottle in his mouth, my exclusively breastfed baby. And when he came out of surgery at 2.5, the first thing he wanted was to feed, because I was still feeding him at 2.5 because he didn't eat well, because his teeth all hurt and he kept getting abscesses, which is why he had emergency surgery at 2.5. And the dental nurses stood there with their mouths open, because normally the kids come out of surgery and they give them a lollipop or a drink of juice. And my little boy wanted the comfort of a feed. So I weaned him a week later. As soon as his gums were healed, I weaned him, because honestly, I am not. I was not the earth mother. That's not why I was doing it. I was doing it because I couldn't get any other nutrient into him. So there. So there's a little bit of a tidbit. So yeah, I'm getting very nervous and jumpy about that. So he has to have a general anaesthetic. He will be having 12 teeth taken out, which is a lot for a very little boy. All but a couple of them are milk teeth. A couple of his adult teeth are the big back molars that have come through, are ruined, because they look beautiful. The surface of them is beautiful. When I've been brushing them, they look like good healthy teeth, but because they've been sitting next to his milk teeth, which are decayed, they don't hurt him, but they are decayed. The decay has gone in through the side and down into the root, and they're not going to root canal a 9-year-old. So those 2 are coming out, and the rest of his molars, he's still got 2 more sets of molars to come through. They will scoot naturally, with the gaps being there. They should scoot forwards naturally and fill the gaps, so he shouldn't be left with gaps. Fingers crossed. But yeah, so we're doing that on Monday, so I'll either see you Sunday or I'll probably see you a bit later. Also in the UK we have Jubilee weekend. I don't believe I'm doing anything. See, I've already done a round. I'm back to my stitch marker there. I've already gone round once while I'm just sitting here talking to you, so that's quite easy to do. We've got extra bank holidays, but I believe I'm just working as normal, and yeah, nothing. I don't think anything special is happening for our little lot. A lot of places in the UK have got big street parties and having lots of things happening, but I don't think we're involved in anything really. It sounds about right for my family. But do like the Queen very much. I'm very pleased she's made it to this milestone, and I hope she has a wonderful time. And yeah, So there's that. So lots coming up, and I've just clicked into the half an hour point, so I'm going to leave you there, guys. Nice and straightforward and simple today, and I'm going to get this video. I've only got a couple of pictures and a little bit of text to insert for you, so I'm going to get that done, and then I'll get this uploaded today. And I will see you. A little bit more knitting done. Sorry for knitting corner. I don't often show you knitting, but I've very definitely been working on a project, so I thought I'd just say this is why I haven't done quite as much stitching. Look, I'm making a jumper. Right, guys, I will see you really soon, and take care, and bye bye for now. Bye.